And now to our government gone wild. Yes, the GSA. Remember the almost $1 million taxpayer-funded lavish party in October of 2010 in Vegas? Well, listen to this. That's not a Friday night concert. That's another GSA awards ceremony thrown just 1 month after that lavish Vegas party that cost taxpayers almost $1 million. Now, this second one is a one-day awards ceremony. It cost only $270,000. It was held at a suburban Washington hotel. There were no clowns, mind readers, or bosses in the bathtub with unmatching wine glasses. But the event did feature a violinist and a guitarist. And that's not all. $21,000 worth of drumsticks. I have two here. These are not really from that particular one. These were just a gift. And $35,000 worth of picture frames were given to the guests. Guests, of course, now that the GSA has gotten caught with its pants down again, it's now insisting that under its new GSA leadership, this event and type of spending is not tolerated. But the GSA Inspector General and the House Committee are launching another investigation. Congressman Jeff Denham joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
And you brought me the gift of the drumsticks.
Not paid for by taxpayers.
No, you paid for these yourself. All right, now, what's going on here?
It's a blatant abuse of taxpayer dollars. Originally when the Vegas story came out, GSA tried to say, well, this is just Region 9, or it's just the regions within the public building area. And now this is a completely different area of GSA. And don't forget, GSA is the agency that sets the standard for every other agency. And so this is going wide across GSA. We want to find out how deep it goes into other areas of the bureaucracy and put a stop to it.
How do you spend $21,000 on drumsticks? I mean, how many did they buy?
4,000 sets of drumsticks.
And what was the purpose of the drumsticks?
Well, the audience was playing along with the drummers that you saw.
That's almost impossible. I mean, it's like unthinkable. I realize that that's a small amount of the entire cost, but I mean, it is so unbelievably insane to take taxpayer money and do something like that.
It's a blatant abuse. I mean, this is the arrogance of the department.
Abuse? I say stealing. I mean, you do have a fiduciary responsibility of the taxpayers. I think it's worse than just sort of a flagrant abuse.
Yeah, and the thing that they came back to me and said, well, do you want us to not have conferences altogether? I said, yes. Absolutely, yeah, no more conferences. But if you're going to have a conference, if you have a legitimate reason to have a conference, you have 14,000 vacant buildings under GSA that they could be holding a conference in. Hold in one of the national parks. But to have these different types of vacations all around the nation is unacceptable.
What were the awards for, by the way? What did they get the awards for?
We actually are doing an investigation right now. The investigator IG's office is coming back with a full report of everything that they're finding and how many other of these vacations and trips that have happened.
All right. Speaking of vacant buildings, there's a new lease the GSA has signed. One World Trade Center in New York, office space. Why are they getting this office space?
They haven't justified it. They haven't told us who the tenants are. The one thing that is very clear is they're breaking the law. Even by GSA standards or by the law in 3 different areas, it says that any time they spend more than $2.6 million, any lease larger than that, they have to go for a congressional approval. Well, they didn't feel like they were going to get approved, and so they went around Congress.
Well, one story I read, Senator Schumer, it's his jurisdiction. He was, at least it appears, that he was encouraging it. I assume he's trying to get money into showing support for New York, trying to show support for the World Trade Center. But we don't know who the tenants are, right? Just that GSA has rented this?
Yes.
And I guess the thing is that we have done stories here on the record of and you've mentioned it, empty office space. I don't know who the tenants are in New York, but it seems to me that maybe we should look at some of the empty office space we have and perhaps use that first.
Absolutely. Force them to justify it. We've got all of these vacant buildings. In fact, we've got huge vacant buildings in New York right now. Yet they're going to go outside of Congress, go around the law to get this lease. And they did the same thing here in Washington, D.C. with the SEC. Went out and backdated a document, broke the law again, tried to cover it up, and we actually pulled their leasing authority back. So now GSA, who said they would never do this again if they had the leasing authority, has done that within a year. Who
broke the law, and in what fashion with this SEC?
Well, with the SEC, it was very clear that they backdated documents. We had the 2 different documents. They did it over a weekend, no competitive bid.
Why are you referring to the Justice Department? They're backdating documents. Why do we start having criminal investigations? If people are backdating documents and committing a fraud, If I do that, my name gets referred to justice.
Absolutely. In fact, we did refer one to the justice. A couple of people were let go after that.
Let go. That's different. Let go.
I understand.
I go to the slammer. Let go. That's the least of the problem. It
does seem like there's certainly a different standard within GSA and within government altogether.
But how do you backdate a document? Unless you're committing a crime.
I agree. That's why we referred it to justice.
And have they done anything except, I guess, someone loses a job, but that's it?
And it's one of the things that's going to come up in our hearing a week and a half from now. We want to find out directly from GSA. We were going to use subpoena power if that's what we have to do. But ultimately, we have asked for this information. We've demanded this information. We've passed laws to force them to give us the information. And we end up, just like Chairman Issa, getting all of this information either from whistleblowers or from doing an IG report.
All right. Well, I just have to throw in my quote, favorite SEC story ever was the lawyers who were downloading porn on American taxpayer dime. And they downloaded so much on the computer that they actually had to do it to external hard drives. But that's what we're paying for. But anyway. Well, I look forward to your investigation to see what you discover about this, about the GSA and their award ceremony and also the renting of office space. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.